Welcome back to the Career Transitions podcast. This is actually the last episode, unfortunately.
Yep.
We kind of wanted to just record another episode to kind of reflect on, the whole experience, not just this podcast, but, our own life and college and everything.
Yeah, man. It's been a journey, and I feel like I think I mentioned this before, but man, it's been like a really therapeutic experience just getting to interview everybody and hear their experiences, and it just kind of gave me a new perspective and outlook on my time here. So
Yeah, really. I mean, we've got to learn a lot just from these interviews we've done. We've done like 2 people each one, and everybody's got a different thing to say, and it's just as, like meaningful, I feel like. So we just kind of wanted to reflect on that. I think we'll kind of, we'll sort of ask each other sort of the same questions we were asking the other people, just kind of like as a guide for us,
yeah, for
So,
sure.
I mean, I guess we can get started, maybe you can go first, like, I guess introduce yourself again, reintroduce
Okay.
yourself.
Yeah, well, I'm Gavin Pendergraph. I'm a double major, multimedia journalism and sports media graduate. I guess we can say that now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I'm Joaquin Montiel. I'm a StratCom major, strategic communications, advertising, PR is the focus. And we both have poli-sci minors.
Yeah.
Just had to add that in there.
Yeah, exactly. Gotta flex.
Yeah. Well, how were the last few years for you, man?
Man, it's been a journey. It's hard to, now that I'm actually getting asked that question, I'm realizing how hard it is to answer that. It's been up and down. A lot of good things I can take away from it. A lot of good connections I've made, people that I've met, and friendships that I hope will last for the rest of my life. And also getting to come here with 2 of my best friends, my lifelong best friends. It's I honestly can't think of a better way to spend my college career, and I couldn't imagine college without that. So honestly, I feel like the last few years have honestly been defined by people.
Mm-hmm. No, I would agree. Last few years, I feel like being a StratCom major, and I wasn't as involved in some of the other things that like a sports media or MMJ major would be. And so for a while, I kind of felt sort of like, I don't know, out of the loop with things. What happened there? Sorry, we're in a crazy building. But, this last year, I feel like I've kind of put myself out there more, made friends with some of the people, took a MMJ elective, So I kind of, now I'm in the loop as to what you guys had to go through.
Exactly.
And, plus making friends in my own major, I just feel like, it hasn't been too bad.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's been good. So, what kind of things do you get involved in while you're here?
Man, so I've kind of done a few different things. Maybe not as much as I wish I would have. Let's see, I was like a sports writer for the Ocoee for about 2 years. And that was a really good experience. I met a lot of cool people, went to a lot of cool different events, and learned a lot. But outside of that, I was a production team member for Mod Muse, this lifestyle and fashion magazine, where basically I would was in charge of designing the magazine spreads and all the different pages and stuff like that. So that was cool. Done that for about a year now, and outside of that, I've done a little bit of reporting and producing for the Poke Report and Pete's Corner. Whether that be through class and a little bit outside of class, and so just a pretty big variety. I'd say I didn't really hone in too particularly into any one of those.
Yeah, I feel that. Me. So my freshman year, I was part of this program called like First to Go. So it's kind of like for first generation college students, people whose parents didn't go to college. And we kind of did some service projects here and there, just trying to get involved, like get integrated into campus life. And then COVID hit and kind of ruined the year. So that was kind of the extent of my experience freshman year. I didn't really get to do too much. Sophomore year, I joined the writing center. So I became a writing tutor for them. So I would kind of like help students with their assignments. They would like send it in. It was asynchronous at the time, so I would kind of like I would have like 48 hours to suggest revisions, tell them what they were doing good, things like that. And kind of after I left that, I didn't really get too involved as much as I would have liked to. I did join ModMuse this year, so I was part of the marketing team for them. So we kind of like it's kind of like team meetings, coming up with ideas for the social media page, things like that. We go out on campus, interview people, things like that. And for my capstone project, I got to be in a group where we kind of got to create a communications campaign for like a local business. So that I feel like that kind of counts as experience, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
Hands-on stuff. But yeah, I mean, I kind of wish I would have gotten involved more, but I feel like I haven't done too bad. Done a couple things.
Yeah.
So how would you say those things prepared you for I don't know.
Man, I think they've taught me a lot of good things. Obviously as a double major, one production focus, one writing focus. I really wanted to kind of broaden my horizon as far as my skill set, and I wanted to diversify my portfolio and kind of be able to try out a lot of different things to, say I've done a lot of different things to not limit myself as far as, a job search where I can kind of look in different facets of media for a position. So, I feel like it's definitely helped me in that sense where I've just gotten to try a lot of different things, and you know I think that's been a really really positive thing for me. But also doing a lot of interviewing, getting over that. I think it was, I feel like a lot of people talk about that, just anxiety. I have, pretty bad social anxiety, but especially when it comes to interviewing people and, being able to direct that. And I feel like just getting a lot of reps in with that, whether that be in Capstone or in my other classes, or, when I was writing for the Ocoli. And so I think it's just really helped me gain more confidence in myself in my field. So what about you?
Yeah, I'd say kind of similar. I mean, I didn't get as involved in as many things, but what I did get involved in, I feel like has shown me that I'm not incapable of doing things, and I just kind of something I need to remind myself. I don't have to stay in my own shell, and I feel like it's less about what I did do and more about what I didn't do. Like I feel like I got involved in a couple things, but I feel like internally I still need to change myself. So I feel like that's kind of like the big takeaway I've gotten from these things, and I kind of want to take that into the future as we're about to graduate into the workforce and stuff. Like I'm like, okay, you've gotten involved in a couple things, and how does that prepare you for where you are now? But like, I don't know. I feel like it's still a learning process, but I'm still grateful for the things I have been able to get involved in, honestly. So, what have you learned the most in college? And like we said to our guests, could be life, school related, anything.
Man, I feel like what I've learned most is just to not only not be afraid to try new things, but also not be afraid to be myself, and just really embrace myself and just put myself out there. I feel like I failed to do that for the good majority of my college career, and now I'm at this point, and I'm realizing that all these things and that I was just kind of blaming on were reasons that were holding me back, but really it was just me. So I kind of learned that I'm my own worst enemy, but I'm also my best friend. You know what I mean? I'm the only person that can make real change and in my life, and so I feel like that's just something I've learned the most is just I'm in control of my own destiny, and only I can change that and control that. So I'd say that's definitely been the thing I've learned the most.
Hmm. I'm pretty similar, honestly. I feel like the biggest thing I learned was to just it's pointless to dwell on the past. You know, I feel like I spent a lot of time thinking about the past, like, oh, why didn't I do this or that? and it prevented me from making the present and the future one worth living in. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like I need to stop dwelling on the past, and I just need to make now worth it. I need to focus on the now and what I can do to improve the future.
Mm-hmm.
And I also think I kind of agree with what you said about putting yourself out there and social anxiety. Like for the longest time, I feel like I just didn't put myself out there, didn't participate as much, just because I felt like nobody would appreciate the input I had, you know. And it's like no, you know, people in college, they want you to get involved. They want your input. That's what they're, you know, waiting for. They want everybody to put themselves out there. And I feel like maybe I just need to have more self confidence, you know, like I am worth working with, you know. So I feel like that's kind of the biggest thing I've learned is to just kind of believe in myself.
Yeah, man.
So, is there anything you do differently?
Anything. I feel like more so everything I do differently, but no, I'm just kidding. Um, I feel like if I do one thing differently, would just not be afraid to speak up. Whether that be in class or extracurricular things. Everything I got involved in, I just tend to be a shadow in the back of the room. I don't really try to put myself out there because I feel like I had this impression that what I had to say just wasn't worth anyone's time, let alone my own. And so I feel like I would have just gone back and been like, you know what, no, like my input is just as worth its hearing as everybody else's here. I feel like if I would have done that more, then maybe I could have made more connections. Maybe I could have got involved sooner. All these other things, I feel like it was just really just hindering all of those things. But so that would probably be the main thing I'd do differently.
Yeah, I feel that. I would have tried to get involved more, and that kind of ties into believing in myself, you know? Like if I'd believed in myself earlier than I had, I could have felt like I was capable of doing things, you know, getting involved in stuff. So if I could do anything differently, I would have just stopped moping around, you know, I would have tried to get out of my shell more. But also, you know, kind of like what Zach said in our earlier episode, you can change the past, but also, is it worth changing the past, you know, because maybe we wouldn't have learned these lessons that we have.
Exactly.
And I feel like I kind of needed that reality check, you know. So I don't know. I would like to change things, but also I know that, you know, the way things worked out or the way they worked out, kind of things are meant to be, you know.
Exactly. And I mean, things could always be worse, and all those. I mean, you're right. All those lessons have gotten to this point, and honestly, looking back at these questions, it's kind of funny after hearing everyone's answers. I feel like if we would have asked ourselves these questions beforehand, we had all those interviews. I feel like the answers would have been a lot differently than they are now.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
and that's the crazy thing because we've only been doing this for the span of like 4 days or something like that.
If that.
It's been like, you know, we kind of came up with this idea on the whim, and you know, we wrote these questions down. These were like draft questions, you know. We didn't even expect them to be the final one, but I feel like it's been a pretty good blueprint. But yeah, like we definitely would have had different answers, and I feel like getting to know other people's perspectives has been really beneficial. And I think that's also a lesson for life in general. Like when you're just a shell of yourself and you're just like staying in your own house all the time, never going out, taking all these online classes, not getting involved, you don't grow or learn. But when you get to know other people and stuff, you know, you can like, you know, it gives you a better outlook on life. I feel like that's what this podcast has really helped us, you know, achieve.
Mm-hmm.
So, what are your immediate plans after college? What are your long-term goals?
So right now, my immediate plan is most likely I'll just stay here for a couple months, at least until our lease ends, and just continuing to job search as I have been, and I'm trying to find something in state, at least for now, preferably in the Tulsa area. Just because I'm engaged and my fiance is going to nursing school, and so obviously you know, I can't go anywhere without her, and so my plan just kind of revolves around that, trying to find a job right now, get my feet wet, and just you know plant myself somewhere at least for the time being, so that way hopefully I can get some experience by the time my fiance graduates. That wherever we go, that I'll have something under my belt by then. That's kind of my immediate plan, and my long term goals, man. I just want to be happy, I just want to find fulfillment, and whatever that may be. I really enjoy telling stories. I've done that in written format, video format, and whatever that looks like. I just want to. I feel like what we've been doing now, just conversating with people and hearing other people's stories and telling our own. I feel like that's just kind of my passion. You know what I mean? I feel like I want to do something with that, and so whatever that really looks like, I just feel like I just want to be a storyteller. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get that. I'm pretty similar. I just want to get a job. It's that first step. I don't know if I can't get a job, I want to get like an internship, postgraduate internship, something like that. Something that'll get me some more experience. Because I have a little bit now, but I feel like I need a little more. Who knows, but we'll find something. It's going to work out eventually. And long term, I just kind of want to find myself, figure out who I am,
Yeah.
because I'm still trying to figure that out. So I guess it's kind of similar to what you said, find fulfillment. I want to find something that really animates me, makes me feel like I'm happy and doing something that's worth my time and worth other people's time. Pretty similar field, I'd say, telling stories,
Mhm.
whether that be, working as part of a company's marketing department or like journalism or even, storytelling and like writing format, like, movies,
Yeah,
series,
for real.
stuff like that, or like even, running a YouTube channel, whatever it is, that's the path I want to go down. I don't know what it looks like, but I know that's what I want it to be. Um, what kind of advice would you give to other students?
Man, learn from us. Learn from what we've talked about in this episode and what uh, all the other students have said in the previous episodes. I feel like everyone just gave really good advice, and um, and I feel like just in that sense, just listen to your peers, man. Hear people out. Don't hinder yourself. Don't think you have it all figured out and that you know better, because you don't. And I feel like just people have really good advice to share and really good knowledge to spread. And I feel like just listening and learning from other people, learning to when to talk and when not to talk, when just to listen and actually listen, and just grow from that, man. That's honestly the best advice I feel like I'd give.
Mm-hmm. That's really good advice, honestly. And I agree. You need to learn from us and learn from everybody, every guest we had. Because we all had different answers and like different, perspectives. But it's all been, I feel like it could be beneficial to an incoming freshman or a sophomore, just anybody. Because every year is a fresh start. You always have time to start new and do things better than you did the previous year. So I feel like just learn from us. We're here at the end of our college career and we're about to enter the workforce. We've been through it. We know how it goes. I would say get involved, become a part of something. Like Zach said, even if you don't like it, you can just leave it, try the next thing, but try as many things as possible, because that way you can figure out who you are.
Hmm.
And I feel like that's kind of what I lacked in life, was like getting involved in a lot of things. And now I'm like, well, who am I? What makes me tick? Like maybe if I had gotten involved in more things, maybe I could have figured that out sooner. But I feel like with this podcast, we've kind of gotten a chance to sort of learn more about ourselves.
Yeah, man. I think we really have, and it's honestly kind of helped me rediscover my passion. Like I was saying before, it's been really therapeutic and just really beneficial. And yeah,
Mm-hmm.
man, I I've really, really, really enjoyed doing this with you and going through this journey, and um, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, we've been trying to get this off the ground for a long time. We kind of had the idea for like the last 2 years, like, oh, let's make a podcast. by the time we finish school, it'll blow up. We'll be rich.
Exactly.
But we never had I guess, the guts to go through with it. But I feel like everybody who's been a guest has kind of said sort of a similar theme, that you need to try things and not be afraid to try things. And I feel like that's what was holding us back from starting this podcast for a while. We just didn't want to try new things. We were just too ingrained in our own comfort zone for the longest time. But I feel like, we figured out that there was like a week or two left of school. Like better late than never.
Yeah, man.
Might as well start it. We got all those interviews scheduled real quick. They were all willing to come. We had to work around a couple schedules, but
It all worked out, man.
it all worked out. Yeah, and I feel like it's been a really good experience, honestly. And I feel like it can be. I've said this a million times already, but it can be a blueprint for the future.
Yep.
For our own future, for other students who are incoming. I feel like, I really appreciate the chance to make something meaningful. Something that, I think this has the most like of me in it, my personality, more than any other project I've done.
Same, man. It's just been, raw and authentic, and that's just all I've ever wanted to be. You know what I mean? I just wanted to be myself, and you're right, man. I feel like this has given us a chance to start that, to be that. So, yeah, I really hope that everyone that has listened to these episodes has been able to take something away from it, and also I hope you guys are inspired and can carry on our legacy, for the future of the school and everything. So
Yeah, I mean, if you don't get involved in as many things, start a podcast.
it's easier than you think. It's
They'll be
really
willing
easy
to
than-
put it up. Literally, just send them an email or talk to them when they're at the elevator.
Yeah, exactly.
They'll be willing. They want to help us,
Exactly.
and like it's not hard, and it gives you a chance to really, and it'll inspire you to do more things. I wish we would have started this earlier. I feel like we could have done a lot more with it, but for what it is, I feel like it's really great. It's been great, honestly. And, I would say like a parting thought, I would just say, yeah, don't be afraid to try new things. Don't be afraid to join. Don't be afraid to give input. Don't short yourself, Don't just have faith in yourself is, I guess, the biggest thing, Have faith in yourself and you'll be able to build something out of it. Do you have any parting thoughts?
Man, I feel like I've said all I can really say. Just like I said before, just don't be afraid to be yourself, just to be your best version of yourself. The only thing that can hold you back is yourself, and I feel like it's really easy to blame the world and to blame other people, but man, I feel like life is just too short to get caught up in all that. You know what I mean? I really do. But yeah, man, it's been a good run. It's been a good last 3-4 years, here, and yeah, I feel like this has just been a really good way to send this era of our lives off. You know what I mean?
No, I agree. And like another thing, one of my professors said on the last day of class, he said, "Don't get cynical," And I feel like I thought of that when you said don't blame the world. I'm like, the world is a tough place, and it's, there's a lot of bad people and stuff, but there's just as many good people, and you shouldn't use that as an excuse to get in your own bubble. And I feel like, being cynical is the biggest enemy, and it's too easy to get cynical. But, for once, we decided to not be cynical, and we were like, let's just do it. Let's get it.
Let's get it, man.
Yeah.
I think that's probably the best way to end it off.
Yeah.
Let's get it, man.
Exactly. So, I mean, good luck to anybody that's listened to this. Thank you for taking the time to, bear with us, listen to us complain about life.
Exactly, man. And enjoy the ride. I will say that. Enjoy the ride. College goes by way quicker than you think it does. You can't get moments like those back with these people, because we're all going off to do our own things, and just soak in every moment.
Yep, I agree 100%. Just enjoy it, because it's 4 years. It sounds like a long time. It's easy to think you have all the time in the world, but you don't.
Yeah.
And once it's over, it's just gonna be another chapter of life that you have to close the book on. And you want to close it on a good note. So just keep that in mind, honestly, and good luck.
Yeah.
You know.
Good luck, man. Good luck. Well, thanks again
Mhm.
for doing this with me, and
Thank you.
yeah, bro. Yeah, it's just it's been quite the journey, but I'm excited to see what what we'll do from here, and what this podcast will do for people coming into the school. So
Exactly. I'm excited. Hopefully it gets a couple listeners.
yep. Well, also I'd like to say thank you to all the guests.
Mhm.
Rowdy, Noah, Alex, Bo, Daniel, Chris, Zach, Asa, Garrison, Garrett. I
Yep.
don't think I missed anyone.
I don't think so. I mean,
But all those people.
we wanted to get some more people on there, but I think we got a good amount, and all those guests been amazing, honestly.
Agreed.
And the show wouldn't be what it was without them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean they've really driven it and made us look good. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Even they did most of the talking.
Exactly. We just asked the questions, man. But yeah, so I just wanted to shout those people out again and just
Yep.
say thank you for taking the time to do that with us. But yeah, man.
Mhm.
I guess go ahead and wrap it up. You have anything else you need to say? Or?
I don't think so. I feel like
Alright.
if I say it again, they're gonna be like, "Oh my God, these guys are redundant."
Yeah, exactly. You're right.
But
All right. Well, thank you for everyone listening. This has been the Career Transitions Podcast with Gavin,
Joaquin.
and we really appreciate it again, and enjoy Oklahoma State.